Are you thinking about moving to Ballantyne? Well, don't make that move just yet until you know the pros and cons of living here. Today, I am going to share why Ballantyne is one of the hottest neighborhoods in Charlotte right now. And then I'm going to tell you what people don't like about it that you may not have heard of before. So stick around because I'm breaking it down for you right here. Today, I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of living in Ballantyne, North Carolina. If you are new to my channel, I'm Angel Mercer, and if you are not new here, welcome back. I thank you guys so much for all the support. If you are interested in moving to Ballantyne, please call me at 980-263-9632. I help relocation buyers just like you every week find a home here in Charlotte. If you like videos like this, please make sure to like and subscribe to my channel for more content just like this. Now, let's jump in. Let's start with the pros of living in Ballantyne. So Ballantyne is a corporate hub. It's considered Charlotte's main corporate hubs with approximately 535 acres and 4.5 million square feet of office space, and the park is a central hub for the Ballantyne community. It's home to some well-known companies such as Credit Karma, Citigroup Technology, LendingTree, and Wells Fargo. The general types of businesses there are finance, insurance, technology, and healthcare. Just a bit of a backstory of how the corporate park in the neighborhood of Ballantyne came to be. So the Ballantyne area was originally 2,000 acres of hunting grounds, very rural. And in the early 1990s, two developers by the name of Johnny Harris and Smokey Bissell, they recognized the potential of the land, and then they spearheaded this massive rezoning effort to begin building a large corporate park. And so eventually, Bissell bought out Harris's share of the project, apparently in '95, and then he named the area after his great aunt. So the Bissell company set the foundation for the mixed-use community. And then by the 90s, construction on the corporate park then started. So the plans for the community has always been a mixed-use city within a city idea. And that's what we know it as today, as live, work, play, and stay, literally. So it's going to look different than what it did 15 to 20 years ago compared to what it looks like today. That's what they meant for it to be. Then add the population boom here in Charlotte, it makes it even more so busy and congested. And then everybody wants to live in Ballantyne. The master plan included not just office space, but also the Ballantyne Hotel and an award-winning golf course to help attract major corporations. And this helped create a self-contained environment that was appealing to both businesses and residents. And then Interstate 485 came in, and that only enhanced Ballantyne's accessibility to other parts of Charlotte, making it even more appealing for businesses to come in to the corporate park. As a result, this drew numerous Fortune 500 companies, and by 2012, Ballantyne Corporate Park was a competitor for major office tenants against Charlotte's Uptown business district. The next pro is the location and convenience to the interstate. So Ballantyne is located furthest south of South Charlotte, right before you hit the South Carolina borderline. It's really convenient to travel to the rest of the city because you have quick access to the I-485 loop, which literally circles around Charlotte and goes straight through the Charlotte airport. Or you can hop on to I-77, which can take you straight up into Uptown. So to easily get onto the interstate system, travel to the rest of town is pretty convenient. I will get into more about traffic and congestion here later on in the video. So another pro is getting around the neighborhood quickly. So Johnston Road, aka 521, is a main road that runs through Ballantyne, separating the west from the east, and both sides are the same, and they're both equally good. Then you have Johnston Road. It also runs straight into South Carolina, so you can quickly get around Ballantyne by car in about 5 to 10 minutes, depending on the traffic flow, time of day, and where you are in town. Everything you need is very close to each other. Restaurant shopping, boutiques, FedEx, grocery stores, drugstore, parks, you name it. And if anything, you could possibly even take a bike to work if you live here and work at the corporate park. That's that whole live, work, and stay idea that I mentioned earlier. Another great thing is that you can get into South Carolina and enjoy the amenities that Indian Land and Fort Mill in South Carolina also offer, and they are within about 10 to 20 minutes away, depending on traffic. Now let's look at housing. So in terms of housing, you have a pretty good mix. You have luxury single family homes, you've got luxury apartments, townhomes, single family homes, and a lot of newer suburbs. Now, some of the newer housing developments include build to rent townhomes, the Ballantyne Townhomes at Elm. It's a 17-unit build to rent community, and Evoke Living at Ballantyne will be serving households earning between 30 to 80% of the area median income. Should be complete by February 2026. There's a lot of beautiful gated communities here as well. The prices are going to be a little bit more expensive in Ballantyne relative to a lot of Charlotte on average due to all the amenities here, of course. Now for the median home price. So what does it cost to live in Ballantyne? Well, the median price is going to be a little bit more than what it is in the rest of Charlotte. So the median sales price right now for single family homes in Ballantyne, zip code 28277, is $730,000 for the last 30 days, year built from 1980 to 2022 as of the date of this video. And the median list price is the same at $730K. That means that residents are mostly selling their home at the same price they listed it for. So they're getting what they put it on the market for. So the median sales price right now for townhomes in Ballantyne is about $480K. And that was for the last 30 days. The year built is from 1980 to 2025 as of the date of this video. And then the median list price for them is $500K. That means that 90%. That means time residents are getting the price for their home that they listed it at. So single family home prices right now, as of this video, for $35K to $2.4 million, depending on square footage and sub neighborhood, lot size, of course. So the townhome prices right now range from $240K to about $1 million. There are many pockets of townhomes for rent and for sale, as well as condo living, and plenty of apartments to choose from. My husband and I lived in an apartment when we first moved here, and I absolutely loved it and I enjoyed it. Now, the next pro is why people really enjoy being here, and that's the lifestyle and amenities. So there are some really nice golf courses in the area too. You have the Ballantyne Country Club on the west side. Overall, Ballantyne offers more of an upscale type of living. And also, I mean, when you drive literally through town, and I've mentioned this in other of my Ballantyne videos, there's not one piece of litter in sight, and the trees are always manicured. There's nothing out of place. And that tells you a lot about the community. They really care about the upkeep of the community. There's over 200 dining restaurants with a pretty good mix of options. Then you've got, well, they've got fine dining, tons of casual dining, steakhouses, breakfast and brunch spots, Italian and breweries, and then there are some international restaurants there as well. Some well-known shopping centers there is Ballantyne Village. It's a smaller shopping center there with a few fine dining restaurants, a boutique, casual restaurants, a hotel, and many others. And that's in Ballantyne West. Then Stonecrest has a super Target, a movie theater with dining and shopping. And then Blakeney Shopping Center on the east side also has super Target and so many well-known stores like Banana Republic, Every, Lululemon, Francesca's, Home Goods, Old Navy, and many, many more boutiques and shopping. There's really good food there as well. One thing I always admired about Ballantyne was the amount of Targets and Chick-fil-A's that are there. Never have I ever seen so many Targets and Chick-fil-A's so close together in a neighborhood before. And then there's also Waverly Shopping Center, and that's further east of Ballantyne with Whole Foods, and then there's dozens of other boutiques, retail spaces, and spaces to eat there too. So in terms of amenities, this is why so many people like South Charlotte. Then all the other neighborhoods next door like Weddington, Waxhaw, and folks living in North Indian Land and Fort Mill, South Carolina, come and enjoy this area as well. Now, there are plenty of new additions here. There is a new high school, Ballantyne Ridge High, that just opened in order to alleviate some of the pressure of the rising population in the other schools here. Next, we're getting Wegmans, which I'm personally excited for. This will be our first Wegmans here. The Ballantyne Bowl is really new for Ballantyne. It's the new dining attraction with an amphitheater. It has high-rise apartments and a brewery. They built it behind the Ballantyne Hotel that I mentioned earlier. They basically converted the golf course that used to be behind the Ballantyne Hotel into this beautiful new place to hang out and enjoy. They do a lot of events throughout the year, especially at the AMP, which is the amphitheater. And then there's a place for kids to run and play, and that's not including the Streamside Park. They have really good places to eat like Flower Child, Postino's, Harriet's Burgers, and Bossy Beulah's chicken sandwich. So after you eat dinner or lunch, you can then go over to the Streamside Park behind the bowl and have fun with the kids after dinner or after lunch. And the Streamside Park is a 6-acre park, and it's got slides and hammocks. It's really, really fun and different. I've never really seen a park like that. Then the pedestrian bridge will connect the playground and the parks right over to the restaurants into the bowl. So the luxury apartments at the Ballantyne Bowl are called Oro Ballantyne, and it includes luxury studio to 3-bedroom apartments. They've also got townhomes in there and penthouses, along with a 27-story tower and a 7-story mid-rise with retail spaces. Some key features and amenities consist of a resort-style pool, a state-of-the-art fitness center, a resident sky lounge, a hidden speakeasy, a pet park, and then there's that convenient access to dining, shopping, green spaces at the bowl at Ballantyne, of course. Another pro living here, which I have a lot of relocation buyers that want to know this, is the connections between the Greenways and all the Greenspace for outdoor activities for all of you outdoor lovers. And now the Ballantyne Greenway connects the bowl at Ballantyne to the lower McAlpine Creek Greenway. This creates a link to the regional Carolina Thread Trail system. This idea was to enhance accessibility to amenities like the amphitheater at the bowl and Stream Park. They like to connect greenways here in the Charlotte region. So if you like the outdoors and you like to have that green space, then this is perfect for you. Like anywhere you live out here, you'll have some kind of access to some kind of greenway or green space. Ballantyne has so many parks and other green space around the corporate park area as well. Ballantyne has at least 20 parks, 20 miles of walking and biking trails. And at some of the parks, there's also ponds, and you can actually catch and release fish there too. So I've talked about all the good things. You know, sometimes some things are too good to be true sometimes. Not everything here in Ballantyne though. Ballantyne really is a nice place. So now let's talk about the cons of living in Ballantyne. So I lived in Ballantyne for a year, and then eventually we moved about 8 minutes away. So what I personally did not like about living here is, you'll get it firsthand from me, what I personally did not like was that there are not too many fast food restaurants to choose from. The traffic on Johnston Road, especially at rush hour, is a killer. And the affordability for living in a single family home here is kind of high. Let's talk about what everybody else complains about here: the traffic and the commute times. So let me preface this. So when an area gets popular, like when people want to move here or move wherever and it's popular, it's going to get busy. So naturally it will increase the amount of traffic and congestion. That's definitely the case with Ballantyne. But trust me, there are people who live here who are transplants. They don't care. They still want to be here. So if that tells you anything. So it does really get kind of jammed up on the back roads, and then I-485 can get really busy. Johnston Road, Ray Road, all of those streets are going to get busy, especially during peak drive time and during rush hour. And this is basically a negative all around Charlotte. We don't really have great public transportation here. It's not New York City yet. And so overall, the area, Ballantyne especially, does not have great public transportation options. Since we're talking about traffic, let's talk about the traffic to Uptown, South Park, and to the airport. Now, if you work in Uptown, it's gonna take you a little while to get to Uptown at the high peak traffic times of the day. So you might wanna leave around 6:30 a.m. to about 7 a.m. to get there a little quicker. You just gotta make time for it. And rush hour traffic commutes can easily increase to about an hour. So just be prepared. And in Ballantyne, if you're off one of the main roads and you need to get on 77, it can take you like 10 to 20 minutes just to hop on 77 when it really should have taken you only 3 minutes. So, you know, that could be a con for you if you're not used to it. So that's definitely frustrating if you're not used to it. So if you work from home, or if you can go to work early, or if you can leave a little earlier to head home from work when you get off, that will be much more if you work in Uptown. So when we first moved here, my husband hated the traffic to Uptown from Ballantyne so much, and I did not understand why he felt that way. I'm like, well, why don't you just take the back roads? Now, until I finally started my job, I quickly saw that the back roads are even worse, but I just worked around it eventually. So you just have to make sure you kind of factor all that stuff in. So it's about 25 to 30 minutes to South Park and 25 to 30 minutes to the airport too, and that depends on traffic. The other con, like I said a little bit ago, is the cost of living. It's just a little bit more expensive to buy a home here. It's more expensive because it has so much. But if you can afford to live here and the commute time works for you, then definitely go for it. I would. People who recently moved here love it. But I feel like if you've lived here over the course of 15 to 20 years or so, you may miss how it used to be when it was not so congested. Next con is the limited nightlife. So you have great access to daily activities in terms of places to eat, shopping, etc., and a lot of things to enjoy with your family. But if you're looking for nightlife, you're just not gonna need that. You're not gonna get that here. You're gonna need to go to South End or Uptown for that. And that's a decent commute, so you will definitely need a car, especially if you're gonna be going out. And then there's access to larger attractions. Now that can be a downside because there isn't many. There's no theaters, no museums in Ballantyne. There's not an art scene here. That's all gonna be in Uptown area and NODA and like Plaza Midwood. You definitely will need a car to get around here. So you're in the suburbs, unlike Plaza Midwood or NODA or Dilworth or South End. You will need a car to get to places here, but not too far. It's not bad. But in Ballantyne, you're gonna definitely need that car. The homes are kind of cookie cutter. They're a little bit smaller lots. The homes, they're gonna be a little more of a cookie cutter feel. They're newer. They're gonna be master plan communities. In some of those neighborhoods, a lot of the homes are gonna look the same. And then you're gonna have smaller lots as well, and homes are gonna be closer together. There's not a lot of acreage here. So you're gonna lose some of that character and the aesthetics of some of the homes, especially in the newer communities here. And you won't have acres upon acres of land. There's some overcrowding in schools. So since the schools are top rated here, a lot of people wanna be in this school district. It's making the schools overcrowded because of that. So they do have a new high school that they recently built to combat that. I'm sure there will be more coming down the pipeline. And there's just been overcrowding in the neighborhood just in general over the last years due to growth in Charlotte as a whole. Since we have like 150 people or so moving here every day to the Charlotte region, we are attracting many people because of all these businesses and companies. We've got Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Duke Energy, Microsoft, Honeywell, and then a huge healthcare system. And the list goes on. So obviously there are going to be some growing pains as a result of all that. But I still love almost everything about the Charlotte area, Ballantyne, and the Charlotte region in general. So would you consider living in Ballantyne? If you already live here, what are some of the pros and cons of living here for you? Let me know in the comments. Text me at 980-263-9632 if you would like more information about Ballantyne. And don't forget to like and subscribe for more Charlotte area home tours and updates. I'll see you soon.